Today, we will be looking at 5 child molesters reacting to life sentences. So, ready to see the dramas? Christopher Bronhunt. Christopher Bronhunt, a 23-year-old, was facing charges for sexually exposing himself and assaulting a young boy at a San Antonio movie theater restroom. The incident occurred while the child, his parents, and 4 siblings were attending a movie. Bronhunt pleaded no contest to sexual assault charges as a part of a plea agreement that called for a maximum sentence of 35 years in prison. In court, Bronhunt expressed remorse and stated, "I just like to say I'm very sorry. If I could take it back, I would." However, the prosecutor described him as a sexual predator with poor impulse control who uses drugs and alcohol. The case highlights the devastating impact that sexual assault has on victims and their families. Larry Nassar. Larry Nassar, a former sports doctor, gained notoriety for repeatedly sexually assaulting at least 265 young women and girls under the guise of medical treatment. The sentencing for Nassar took place at the Eaton County Courthouse in Charlotte, Michigan. During the proceedings, Randall Margraves, a father of 3 victims, lunged at Nassar in the courtroom, expressing his anger and frustration. Nassar had already been sentenced to 60 years in federal prison on charges related to child pornography and received a sentence of 40 to 175 years for the state's sexual abuse charges. The case of Larry Nassar received widespread media attention and sparked a national reckoning with sexual assault and harassment. Nassar's victims, many of whom were gymnasts, bravely shared their stories, shedding light on the abuse they endured under the guise of medical treatment. Unfortunately, Nassar's crimes continued to have repercussions even after his sentencing, as he was later stabbed by another inmate while in prison. Christopher Elwell. Christopher Elwell, a 29-year-old, was charged with aggravated felonious sexual assault of a 4-year-old girl. The crime occurred at a Mineral Park residence where the victim came over to the home where Elwell was staying. The prosecutor said the girls described him showing them videos of sexual acts similar to the ones that the victim had done. Initially, Elwell denied the accusations but later admitted that they were true. He also pleaded guilty to failing to register as a sex offender, having been convicted on a different charge in 2008. Elwell was sentenced to 7 to 15 years in prison. The case highlights the importance of sex offender registration and the need to protect children from sexual predators. Francisco de Aragorn. Francisco de Aragorn, a 28-year-old former South Florida swim instructor, was found guilty of molesting 3 6-year-old girls. He was charged with sexual battery of a child and lewd and lascivious molestation. All 3 of the victims came forward to speak in court. During the sentencing, de Aragorn denied the accusations and said he had no idea why he was there. However, he received 4 life sentences. The case highlights the bravery of the victims who came forward and the importance of holding perpetrators accountable for their actions. Louis Matthews. Louis Matthews, a Tampa native, was charged with sexual battery on a victim younger than 12 years. The 10-year-old victim told the prosecutor about the night she fell asleep on her living room while her mother's boyfriend was visiting, and at about 3:30 a.m., Matthews woke her up, undressed her, and molested her. Fortunately, he was interrupted when her mother, Matthews' girlfriend, heard a noise, came downstairs, and quickly dialed 911. Matthews quickly grabbed the girl and drove her to a nearby gas station, where he ordered her to remove her clothing and douse her in bleach in an attempt to remove his DNA. Matthews was sentenced to life imprisonment with an additional 55 years. The case highlights the bravery of the victim and her mother and the importance of reporting sexual assault to law enforcement. These cases are a reminder of the importance of protecting children from sexual abuse. Subscribe to our channel to know what punishments morons like this got, and we'll see you next time.